So coming onto hands and knees on your mat, with your fingertips spread underneath your shoulders. We're going to begin with spinal flexion and extension. So inhaling to look up, dropping your belly down, and then exhale, curving your chin towards your navel. And just moving at your own breath, is just kind of feel all the muscles along your spine kind of stretch and open up. And think about when your belly drops down, you're actually squeezing the muscles in your lower back to stretch out your abdominal wall. And then when you arch your spine up, you're flexing your abs to kind of scoop your tailbone towards you. So it's like this deep kind of contraction all the way down in your core when you travel through the movement. I'll take one or two more passes. And then we'll meet in a nice neutral spine. All right, and then from the neutral spine, we're going to tuck your belly button into your spine again so your core is really tight and engaged. You're going to reach your right arm out in front of you, and then your left heel straight back away from you. And then on the exhale, you're going to connect elbow to knee under your body, and then inhale to extend, reaching back out. We can do this 5 times. So exhaling to connect, there's 2. There's 3. When you extend out, think about pushing out through your heel, so you're getting your body as long as you can. There's 4. One more time reaching out. And there's 5. We'll come back onto all fours, take a moment to resettle. Again, re-engage your core, so you're nice and tight in your tummy, reaching your left arm out in front of you. Your right heel straight back away from you. On the exhale, connect elbow to knee. And then inhale to extend. Exhale to connect. Inhale to extend, pushing out really far. We're going to do 3 more. Two more. Last time making the connection. Reaching out to finish. And then coming back onto all fours with your knees on either side of the mat and your big toes together. Going to come all the way back into child's pose, stretching out your lower back for a moment. And then we'll come all the way up and make your way onto your back. So we're going to go for a set of 25 crunches. So crunches can be done feet on the floor or feet up in the air with your feet flexed towards you. Either way is good. Hands can go across your chest or behind your head. They're both fine. The only thing we want to focus on is keeping a space between your chin and your chest. So as you crunch up, your shoulder blades are leaving the floor. And go at your own pace. I'm just going to count out 25 in your own head. Giving a big exhale as you come up. I'm trying to get a good strong squeeze in your core. So when you get up at the top, you can hold it for a second before you can come back. Ideally, by the end of the 25, your abs are screaming, "No more!" But you're going to need to give them more. Good, even towards the end, if you start getting tired, keep squeezing up really high. Beautiful. And then once you finish your set of 25, you're going to bring your hands down by your sides and put them just underneath your butt. You're going to go for a set of 25 leg lifts. So for leg lifts, you're going to straighten out your legs, raise them up until they're just shy of above your hips, and then lower them back down until they're just above the floor. You're going to do that 25 times, again going at your own pace, in a range of motion that feels good for you. If you feel any strain in your lower back, you can bend your knees to reduce the range of motion, but ideally you want to try and keep your legs as straight as possible. And if you want to make it a tad harder, Just straighten out your legs all the way at the bottom and hold for a moment before they come back up. Because it's at that lowest point that you are kind of working the hardest. Beautiful. And as you get closer to 25, as you start to feel kind of tired, just bring your attention to the form. Beautiful. Everyone's doing great. And then once you finish your set of 25, you can come down and rest for a moment. So those can kind of put a little bit of strain on your hip flexors. So we're just going to take a second, push out through the heels of your feet and the heels of your hands. Oh, so lovely. Get that good stretch, which is pretty good. And all of a sudden we're finding ourselves in the shape of like a pencil, right? Isn't that great? So we're going to open up your arms and legs. So you're in the shape of a starfish. And then we're going to do 5 butterfly sit-ups. So a butterfly sit-up is where you float up until you balance on your tailbone. And then you float back down the same way that you came up. So everything comes up together, nice and graceful, like a butterfly. Good. Trying to keep your back straight when you get to the top. And then lowering back down. And trying to breathe throughout the movement, so you're never really holding your breath while you're going through it. At the top, when you hold it, you think about pulling your shoulder blades back together. So you're nice and strong. We'll do one more. And coming all the way back. Beautiful. All right, you're going to hug your knees into your chest, give a little rock from side to side, massaging the muscles of your lower back into the floor. And like we talked about the other day with spinal mobility, so every single time that you twist your spine, you're hydrating the discs, keeping your vertebra nice and healthy. So we're going to straighten out your left leg along the floor. And with your left hand, pull your right knee across your body. So we're coming into that spinal twist. From here, we're going to bring both arms out to either side, as if you're on a cross, but like one leg up. And then we're going to take your right arm and bring it up towards the ceiling and all the way down until your palms are touching one another. Trying to keep your knee on the mat. Bring that right arm back up to the sky, rolling all the way through until your knuckles find the floor. And then we'll come back up again, passing all the way through the movement. So there's 2. We can do this 3 more times. So it's a total of 5 rotations. Think about breathing through the movement. So you're never holding your breath. Do it 2 more times. Good. One more time. Finding that connection. And then opening back up. And you can pause here for a moment, all open. If it just feels really good in your lower back, keeping that leg heavy. And then eventually it'll make your way onto your back, hugging both knees into your chest. And give them a little rock side to side. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So straightening out your right leg along the floor. And with your right hand, pulling your left knee across your body. Until your knee finds the floor, we're going to reach your left arm out to the side. So this is like the normal spinal twist rotation position. You're going to reach your right arm out as if you're on a cross. And then bring your left arm up to the ceiling. And then all the way down until your palms are touching. And then opening back up, passing through the movement. So we're going to do this 5 total. Go at your own pace. If it feels really good in one area, you can always stop. Just kind of let your body hang out there. And we're going to do 2 more times. back up for last time. If it feels good, you can stay there for a second before eventually drawing both knees into your chest again, giving yourself a little rock side to side, and then planting your heels down on the floor. Cool. So from here, we're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee. I'm going to do a set of figure 4 crunches. So left foot can stay on the floor, or your left foot can go up towards the sky. Either one is good. Hands can go across your shoulders or behind your head. And we're going to do 15 crunches straight up and down. So there's no rotation, but you're just trying to bring your shoulder blades as high up off the floor as you can. Giving a big exhale each time you come up. If your legs are up in the air, just try and keep those legs immobile in that figure 4 position. And the hands that are supporting your head are just providing support. They're not actually pulling. So once you finish your set of 15, just switch your legs, and whichever variation feels good for you, we'll just continue doing it. So another set of 15 on this side. And you can even change it halfway through. If you're like, oh, this feels really easy, I want to make it a little bit harder, straighten the other leg up to see how that feels. Cool. And then once y'all done with that set, we're going to do a set of vertical hip raises. So vertical hip raise are where you put your hands under your butt, legs go straight up towards the ceiling, and we're going to try and keep your heels over your hips, and then use your lower abs to kick your butt up off the floor, and then lower back down slowly. We're going to do this 15 times. So giving a little kick up, and then coming on back. If you want to make it a little bit harder, try and freeze the motion at the top so you land really slow, and that makes it actually a lot harder. The only thing we don't want to do is this, because I don't know what that is. But we're just doing vertical hip raise, so straight up and down. Cool. Once you're done with your set of 15, bring your hands down by your sides again, and we're going to do a set of 20 hip raises. So there's 2 variations we can do with this. One is both heels on the floor, pushing off your heels to raise your hips up towards the ceiling. And we'll do that 20 times, or you can cross an ankle over a knee and do it single leg style, in which case you do 10 on each side. So choose whichever variation is good for you, 20 on 2 legs or 10 on each. And we're trying to squeeze your glutes, your butt, and your hamstring so high that you feel that stretch in that front hip flexor. If you're doing the single leg option, switching at 10. If you're doing both feet on the floor, just keep squeezing. Oh, those are so much fun. Everybody loves those. Okay, cool. So once we're done with those, we're going to bring your big toes together and your heels together. We're going to let both knees drop out open to the sides. Just kind of giving a rock side to side, helping those hips stay open and healthy, and it's also really nice massage into your lumbar spine area. And so we're going to put one hand over the other like you're diving into a swimming pool, and we're going to crunch up, driving your hands parallel to the floor. We're going to do this 20 times. So each time you come up, head and shoulder blades are crunching up pretty much as high as you can. And you can use your hands to create a little bit of momentum. So as they're driving up, You do that good strong squeeze. If you want to make it more challenging, pause for a moment at the top and then lower down slowly. We're going to try and keep your feet on the floor and your knees out open to the sides. Cool. And once you finish 20, stop for a second, stretch out, do whatever little movements you need to do to feel funky and happy. And then by and by, we'll make your way onto your side. So resting on your side, with your feet stacked over one another, and your palm facing down into the floor. I'm going to keep the shoulder really strong throughout this next exercise. So like this is called hanging out, where your shoulder's really close to your ear. And we're not going to hang out, we're going to work out. So the shoulder's going to stay strong, so this is all engaged. We're going to do a set of 10 rib rakes. So coming up, you're holding a side plank, and the top hand is like a rake, and we're going to rake your ribs to bring that hand up towards the ceiling. So doing that 10 times, trying to make the twist, and then coming up all the while keeping your left shoulder girdle really strong. Again, try and breathe through the movement. Beautiful, and then once you finish your set of 10, switch sides. So same deal, you're going to keep that palm on the floor, shoulders really strong and engaged, and then hips are up. I like to imagine I have a little candle underneath my hips, so if my hips start to sag, I'm like, ouch! Don't let that happen. But using that top hand for that rake and try and like grab your back. Cool. Once you finish up that set of 10, we'll make your way onto your butt with your palms to the floor and your fingers pointing away from you. So we're going to come to a set of 20 crab kicks. So pushing off the floor so your hips come up off the ground. We're going to keep those shoulders really strong and engaged again, and we're going to try and touch opposite toe with your hand 20 times. $19, 18, 19, 20. Great. So your spine, right? Twist, we talk about that a lot in all my exercise classes. There's a bunch of different parts of your spine that kind of are responsible for that. And throughout them all, we're kind of twisting each one of the parts. So we're going to do something for the middle of your spine. So we're going to come onto all fours, bring one hand behind your head. We're going to keep that elbow flared out to the side. We're going to bring your right elbow towards your left elbow, and then open up as high as you can, twisting out to the side. We're going to do that 10 times on each side. So coming down, and then squeezing to open up. 2, 3. Try and keep length through your spine so your hand isn't actually pulling on your head. It's just a reference point. 4. And then once you finish a set of 10, come back onto all fours, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And if your wrist starts to feel a little wonky here, think about pressing your fingertips into the mat, and that kind of takes the strain off your wrist. So left hand behind your head, bring your left elbow towards your right elbow, and then open out to the side as high as you can. Trying to keep that length in your spine and your core engaged. So by that I mean tucking your belly button in towards your spine. Cool. Once you finish your set of 10, we'll come all the way down onto your belly. Okay, so we're going to do 5 rounds of Superman to cactus arms. So when we do that, hands are out in front of you, forehead is to the floor. And then when we breathe, fly up like Superman, draw your elbows tight into your ribs, straighten back out, and then lower back down slowly. And that counts as 1. Okay. So going through the movement, going with the range of motion that feels right for you. So nothing should really hurt. And then after you finish your set of 5 of those, we'll all meet in child's pose. Stretch out your lower back that we just strengthened so much right there. So child's pose, butt resting down on your heels. Fingertips are out in front of you. Taking a few deep breaths here. Beautiful. And then we'll come forward onto your forearms and toes, and we're going to finish our core workout with a forearm plank for 60 seconds. So, palms facing on the floor, on your toes, and pushing out through the heels, and then dropping your hips down so that they're level with the floor, and we'll start right now. So just keep pushing out through the heels and the crown of your head, making your body as long as you can. As you breathe, see if you can get your rib cage to open up, and then as you exhale, tuck your belly button in towards your spine. And you got this space in between your shoulder blades, where your spine is. And you can let your spine kind of collapse, or you can push your spine up through your shoulder blades towards the ceiling. So we're going to go for ladder. We got 30 seconds left, keeping that core strong, pushing out through your heels. 20 seconds to go. If it feels difficult, that's okay. That means that you're working hard and you're getting stronger. Final 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Cool. Once y'all finish that, we'll come into a sitting position. I'll just finish up with a little bit of oblique stretch and shoulder mobility stuff. So, just sitting nice and comfy. We're going to inhale, raising both hands up to the sky. Then we'll drop one hand down by the side, doesn't matter which hand, but that hand is going to kind of post on the floor to provide you with a little bit of support. You're going to reach your top arm over your head so you stretch all the way through your lats down into your hip complex. And keeping your spine straight, we're going to bend at that support arm to come down just a hair deeper. And then take your gaze underneath your biceps towards the ceiling. Good. And then exhaling, pushing off the floor to come back up towards center. Both hands come up. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So that hand is supporting on the floor so that you can maintain that length through your spine. So you're not collapsing through this part, but your spine is still long. It's just going out to an angle. Reaching that top arm far away so you get that stretch through your lat all the way down into your ribs. And then bending at the support arm to come down as deep as you can whilst trying to keep that integrity in your spine. Good. pushing off the floor to come back up towards center. Both hands come up to the sky, and then glitter fingers of happiness come raining down all over your weekend because you did a good core workout. And happy Friday, everyone. Thank you so much for coming with me. This was fun, and I'll see you all next week. I hope. All right, I'll come in and meet you guys.